Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Emily Pearl Show, live from Memphis, Tennessee, where we talk about anything we want to talk about. All right. And most of the times, that's a lot of things. All right. All right. Bringing in the heartbeat of the South and every beat of my heart, my son, co host Tim Harrington. Hey, Tim, how's it
Hey,
going?
hey, how's everybody doing?
All right, I think they'll be all right. You know, they got the Friday night football,
Yeah,
and so we'll be missing some folks tonight, but they'll catch us on the replay. That's what they
right.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Sybil's not going to be here tonight, y'all. She has a meeting that she had to attend, and she said to tell you guys that hopefully she'll be back next Friday night. All right. Okay, so what's been up to, Tim?
not a whole lot of anything. The weather did a little shifting today. It's got
Yeah,
a little cooler here. I like
it,
it.
it was nice. Yeah, it's nice. Finally, fall setting in.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is my time of year.
right.
And it's going to help people with their utility bills. I'm going to be talking about MLG and robbery tonight to y'all. Yeah. So I was trying to wait now. I need to share the show for one thing. No wonder nobody's in. And let them know that we are live now so they can see it. There we go. Okay. Oh, hold on. Get back here. Oh, come on, phone. Okay, y'all, we're live. Come on in. Ha ha ha, kiss kiss. All right. Hopefully they'll see that and they'll come on in here
Hmm.
shortly. First, I want to share some events that some of our fans and friends have sent in to us to share. Um, Let me see if I can get this over here. Can I slide it? I need to. I'm trying to see if I can. Do I need to slide the whole thing or what? Trying to all on one thing. Okay. So let me see if I can slide the whole thing over. Nope. I'm trying to. Okay. So I'm gonna slide my studio screen over here. Then that way I can see if I'm sharing it or not. Okay. That's the way I'll have to do it. Okay, so let me start sharing our first um event that's happening that my our longtime friend and loyal fan of the show wanted everybody to see, and that is that he is having a, let me enlarge this, a trunk or treat. Can you see that, Tim?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so he's having a trunk and treat. It's going to be Saturday the 25th, which is tomorrow, y'all, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's going to be free food, games, carnival rides for the kids, and a haunted house. It's going to be at 5235 Marching Edwards Place. And if y'all want to get some more info and contact him, the phone number to dial is 901. Hold 1 second. I got to tell my kitty dog to stop something. Okay. She was a little bit cutting up there while Mama's on the show. She didn't think I could hear her, y'all. So if you want more information on that event, please dial 901 207 2045. Okay? That's 901 207 2045. And you can tell them that you heard it on the Emily Pearl Show. And this is DJ One Nation. DJ One Nation that's got the trick or treat event tomorrow, um, 4 to 7 p.m. Free food, games, carnival rides for the cats. Haunted house. Ooh, boogie. So you guys give him a call. And also, he wanted to share another event that he is also sponsoring tomorrow, the 14th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Award. Well, it's probably not sponsored by him per se, but he has affiliation with it apparently. And it's also tomorrow, and they're starting at 9:30, and the place is Wind Ridge Park. Now, y'all, I don't know where that is. I can't tell you. I have no idea. But there's going to be food, fun, and entertainment. It doesn't say that's free. Just come on out, bring a friend, tell a friend, let's walk and bring awareness to breast cancer. And there's a picture of a soda, like the Orange Crush, but it's a Pink Crush breast cancer. They're going to have free t-shirts. Oh, no, it just says t-shirt. Oh, okay, here's the sponsor. First Lady Trish, Trissy, Trissy Cullen. Trissy Cullen. And for more information on that, stop sharing a minute. All right, let me get that number back up there. Sorry about that, y'all. I could move one thing and mismove the other.
Hmm.
Okay, let me get that. All right, there we go. Okay, the number to contact is 901 255 4048. That's 901 255 4048. All right. Then we got another event to share. Of course, we've been sharing this for the past 2 weeks. Black Wall Street Workshop. That's also tomorrow, October the 25th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And as we can see, it's going to be a conflict with one of the other events. However, this is one of the events that me and Civil will attend because this is our friend Crystal that is hosting this event, and that location is, I'm struggling to enlarge that for y'all. That location is 1331 Union Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 28104. Tomorrow, 9 to 12, and there's going to be a Mrs. Queen Ella Woods. She is a philanthropist, humanitarian, financial life coach, a consultant, and the national coordinator for Black Wall Street. This is sponsored by the Memphis Feed, and the moderators are Crystal, who's over there to the right next to the lady who is the main speaker. And the other two gentlemen, I don't know them, but there's Crystal with the long braids, because both of them got long braids, and got both of them got on the same colors there. So, but the picture, the large picture, is the lady of the speaker, the lady that's hosting, doing the presentation on the Black Wall Street. And then Crystal is right beside her, and she is our friend, and she is the one that's hosting the event for Miss Quinella Wood. All right. Okay. So we got all that in there. All right. We did all of our stop sharing. We did our event announcements. Okay. All right, y'all. So now let me get, I can get my screen back over here because I like my studio screen in front of my face.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, I do have double monitors. I have to with all the things that I do. And you guys, if you ever want to get a second monitor, it's really fun. Really frees up. Hey, Rita, thanks for being with us. Yes, Miss Rita Sweeney, head on the screen. Let's go. All right, thanks for joining in, tuning in for us. I know you're from LinkedIn. We got people watching from YouTube and maybe some from Facebook. I did share the show a bit late, but that's okay. I know the parents have to be the night with their children at football Friday night. They can't send them by themselves no more with the task force in town, right?
Yeah.
Ah, and that's good. It should have been going with them all the time. Okay, y'all, our first topic tonight is I want to talk about Memphis Light Gas and Water. And all of the citizens of Memphis calls it Memphis Light Gas and Robbery. Can we get a reaction to that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, really, really wants me other states. Let me just explain to you why. Because, first of all, we do not have a choice to choose of even another, just even one other utility service that we could choose from. Memphis Light Gas and Water holds a monopoly over uh, Shelby County and the surrounding counties and the city of Memphis. Okay, and they are very unfair to its customers. They charge us too much money, and then they blame it on TVA. But the group that they're most cruel to is senior citizens. Now, everybody in the whole wide world knows that senior citizens live on a fixed income. And I have had this happen to me twice. And the reason why I'm speaking about it out loud this time is because it just recently happened to me. And what they do is that if you get the services disconnected, not even one time, they penalize you. So they have what they call this threshold. Now, to keep in mind, these senior citizens, like myself, have been paying Memphis, I guess, and water a bill for probably 50, 60 years, right? So, 40 or 50 years. So they know we're going to pay our bill. But what happens? Sometimes you don't get a cutoff notice in the mail. Y'all know how much trouble we've had with the mail, and particularly me and my route, I did not get a cutoff notice, right? So I missed the cutoff date. And so when my lights and everything went off, I thought it was a fuse, but I looked now before I go to stick my fuses, I'm always looking out the doors, see if anybody else out on the street, because that's what they do. Our neighbors on the street when the power go out, everybody's got their head out the door, they're on the porch running what happened, right? I didn't see anyone. So I said, okay, well, let me just call this guy, get some water. Then I was getting the next step to see if there is an outage affecting my neighborhood, right? And Miss Green Rita says the state of Texas is higher than here. Okay, well, then, Memphis, I guess what a claim. That's their big claim that is cheaper. So if Rita has lived there, she probably knows. But really, you got to look at it too. The people in Texas make more money, you know, income than we do here in Memphis. You know what I mean? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so what happens is they have this threshold, like $299 or $399. Whereas if you go without a disconnect, you get that threshold. So if you got a $399 threshold and your utility bill is $599, then you don't have to pay $200 and you're in good standing. All right, so they keep that threshold in there. But if you get disconnected, they penalize you for 2 years. They take that threshold away from you. And that's just wrong. I can understand. And when I told the lady about it, when I called, because I told her what had happened, because we have a different mail person on my route every week, and they do not know these houses very well, these addresses, right? So, because I've been getting a lot of other folks' mail, and I'm pretty sure they've been getting mine. But at any rate, it wasn't her fault. And I was explaining to her, I knew it wasn't her fault, but that's just a hard penalty. You're going to penalize a long time 50, 60 year paying customer with a 2 year penalty. That's a stiffer penalty than they give criminals down at 201. Am I right, Tim?
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Also, you know, it just dawned on me. I think everybody is paying way more than what is need to be paid is because we have such old wiring here. None of
Mm-hmm.
the wiring is still above ground.
Mm-hmm.
As when I stayed in
You mean
Virginia,
underground?
everything that I when I stayed in Virginia was underground, and it was relatively cheap, no matter wherever you
Oh,
move.
you mean where you stayed? The other
Yeah,
states?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in Virginia. But yeah, here they've just been patching up wires for 50, 60 years instead of replacing it and taking it underground as it should be done. So yeah, it's like you're getting robbed twice. Once by the faulty wiring and old wiring, and then by them again.
That's true, because I'll bet you that faulty wiring does cause more electricity to be used.
It does.
Okay, Rita says it evens out. An ex coworker lived in Florida for years and made more, but she said you have different bills to pay. Yeah, that's true. And it's that way in Mississippi too. I think they have a bill for the electricity and they have a
Hmm.
bill for water.
They do.
Uh huh. And do they have a separate bill for gas as well, Tim? Because you
Uh,
lived in Mississippi.
yeah, I believe the water was the only thing that was separate from the light gas.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
electric and the gas is on the same bill.
right. But the
Okay,
water is separate.
okay. Well, at any rate, it's a real disadvantage for a senior citizen, because I just recently had a couple that I talked to, and they don't do it. Years ago we used to go say they were discriminating based on race, but I was talking to a friend of mine, a couple, her and her husband, they are Caucasian. And she said that their utility bill last month took half of her husband's check. And I have to agree with her, because that when I had to pay that because it was the disconnect and they weren't going to include the threshold, it took half of my check. Uh, so Miss Sweeney says that her bill only increased about $10. She purchased a newer home. The older homes can have more issues. That is true also. You're right about that. The older the homes are, sometimes they can have more issues. But sometimes these older homes are more sturdy too than newer homes. So it does have a lot to do with installation. I do know that, and drafts coming in, things like that. But my issue is this: when you compare it to what you have been paying, you know, it should only increase just a little bit, but not by 45% more. That's just too much. And that's what I noticed, because that's not right. And I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what the couple that I was talking to was speaking of too, because that was not the amount that they normally paid. It was way above. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
So Miss Rita say true. All right, y'all. Y'all tired of getting those Medicare calls coming to your house? Tim, do you get any Medicare calls?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, number one, y'all, I know everybody tells me, and they're calling me too. One just called me yesterday. She was very polite, because I usually don't answer them, but I said I'm going to answer this to see what's going on. So I answered, and she introduced herself. said that she was where she was from, and she was just calling to see if I needed any help with my Medicare enrollment. Well, I was nice too. I was very nice to her. I said, you are not supposed to be calling me. So please remove my number from your list. Now, she was absolutely flabbergasted that I had that much knowledge to know that they are not supposed to call us. That's right, y'all. Let me share the screen with y'all. They are not supposed to call you for Medicare enrollment. They can do their announcements on the television. And you are they only supposed to get in touch with you if you have called them first. So this is what you need to do. When you start getting these Medicare calls, you need to ask them first, how did you get this number? And usually if you go with that question, they're gonna hang up on you. Okay. Let me make this a little bit smaller because I need to be able to make it larger where y'all can see it. Okay. Can you see that, Tim? Tim, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make it just a little bit bigger. Okay. So this is it. No, it is not normal for Medicare to call you uninvited, and they do not make unsolicited calls to ask for personal information. Be very cautious of these calls as they're often from scammers, and you should not give out any personal information. Legitimate calls to Medicare or your health plan provider will only happen, listen at this, will only happen if you have called them first, left a message, or have a prior relationship with the company, right? How to protect yourself. Don't answer like I did. I just felt like answering her today. It was yesterday one. Do not answer calls from unknown numbers, and never give out your personal information, like your Medicare or your Social Security number, over the phone to an unsolicited caller. And they're really slick because what happened to a friend of mine about 4 years ago, they called her, and the way that the woman was talking, they trick people. They trick senior citizens. How would you like to? Years ago, it used to be. Or did you know that you could get a free gym membership and silver sneakers with your Medicare? So my friend said no, she didn't know that. She said, "Well, yes, ma'am, you sure can. You want me to go ahead and add that to your Medicare?" That's the way the woman presented it to him. So what ended up happening, y'all, was that she said yes, but she didn't know the lady was switching her off a straight Medicare to a Medicare Advantage plan. What happened? Well, about 6 or 7 months later, she had to go into the hospital. She was in the hospital because I carried her there. She was in the hospital waiting for the surgeon to come in and do a little minor surgery. And they told the business office person came in and told her to get the pay, that her insurance was only going to pay for 80% of it. And she was like, "What? I'm supposed to have full coverage." And she said, "No, ma'am, you have such and such and such and such." She said, "No, I'm not supposed to be with that company." She said, "Well, yes, ma'am, that's what they have you down for." And so anyway, she said, "Well, how much will it be?" She said, "Well, I don't know. It depends on, the cost of everything after, everything is performed." So I told her, so, I told her, "The friend, get up. Stop. No, cancel this. When you get home, call the Medicare office, tell them, take you that somebody has tricked you onto Medicare Advantage and to switch you back to straight Medicare." because that's what happens to these Medicare advantages. See, they fooled the senior citizens, and now they've added about this free food card. You could be eligible for $1,200 a month to spend on to spend on all the healthy food that you need. Wouldn't it be nice? Call today to get your $1,200 food card. Yes, they do give you that, and yes, they may give you a gym membership. You know, okay, and that card, that yes, with that card you can buy over the counter drugs with it. But what they don't tell you is that $1,200 gonna be every month? Well, I can tell you the answer to that. Heck no. You got to divide 12 months into that $1,200, which means they only you may be eligible for 100, but based on your income, you may be only eligible for 50. Is they going to give you that $900 every month? No, I can tell you that. So you got to divide that $900 by 12. You know, so they fool the senior citizen. They call them up on the phone. Poor little senior citizens answer the phone, and they entice them. All right. So let it go to your voicemail. You don't recognize the number. Let the call go to your voicemail. If it's important, the caller will leave you a message, and all the ones that went to my voicemail for the past 2 weeks have just hung up. Okay. Now, if you're really curious about it, if you do answer the call, don't give him any information. Just say, no, I'm not interested. Then, if you want to, you can call Medicare directly yourself just to confirm to see if anybody called you about your Medicare. And that number is 1 800 Medicare. Very easy to remember. 1 800 Medicare. And do what I did. Register for the Do Not Call registry. Register your number with the National Do Not Call. They got cut off down there because this is a screenshot. But do you know they still call me anyway? And that's the reason why I say they're not supposed to call me at all. No spam, nobody's supposed to call me without my permission because I am on the National Do Not Call registry. And see, when you're on that, you actually can sue them if they call you. But I don't have time for all that. Okay. Rita said she doesn't answer the phone. She said she doesn't answer the phone on her home phone, and her cell phone company keeps blocking them as spam. Yes, my cell phone company shows me if it looks like a spam number as well. And she also say nothing is free without a catch. Yay, Miss Rita, you sure right about that. This free stuff, and they give you that little extra $100 a month, but that's for healthy people. Believe me, that's for healthy people. It's not for senior citizens because seniors get sick. We don't ever know when we're gonna have to go to the hospital. And then when you get in the hospital, and then if you're lucky enough, you'll find out that you're gonna have to pay that other 20% before you you know let them proceed with whatever they're gonna do, or you're gonna let them proceed, and then you're gonna get stuck with a bill. Those Medicare Advantage plans, most of them do not pay for supplies that you need. Okay. Hey, Luther. Luther say I'm on the list, and they still call saying FedEx or UPS. I know, right? uh, I don't get those because I don't answer, so I really don't know who they're from. But yeah, I had talked with someone just yesterday, and their issue was they wanted to know which was the best. See, it's open enrollment. That's why they're ringing these phones to that. They want a friend of mine asked me because I'm in life insurance. She wanted to know which one's the best Medicare Advantage. Actually, I talked to two people, but this particular one, she wanted to know which one was the best Medicare Advantage plan to get on. I told her I don't know, and because I do not do health insurance, so I told her honestly. But the other friend that called me, which she was talking about it for her husband, and she was explaining to me how they don't pay for anything for him. He has to pay a lot for his medicine. I said, okay, what you might need to do, and I only made a suggestion because you can't, you can only, you want to advise people in a friendly, suggestive manner. So, excuse me. So I suggested to her to call Medicare today, because that was yesterday when we talked, and see if, I mean, not just tell them that, they wanted, she wanted to get him on straight Medicare. And because when you get on straight Medicare, if you're within that federal guideline of low income or a certain amount of income, then Medicare is going to automatically assign you to a program that they call SHIP, and that's the uh, State Health Insurance Program. So they're going to automatically assign you to one of the health insurance companies that will pay that extra 20% for you, and you don't have to pay anything. Not only that, you can choose your own primary doctor. With those health advantage plans, you can only choose a primary doctor that is within the network of your health advantage insurance company. There are a lot of restrictions, but they don't ever tell the people that, right? Okay, so my son, Tim, doesn't have to worry about it because he's Navy retired.
Yeah, it's a privilege. Yeah,
That he's one of the privileged, y'all.
yeah,
Uh,
grateful.
okay, so I know I had to do a lot of talking and Tim didn't chime in there. So because he knew I already had to cover those two really bad. But one more thing I want to say about how senior citizens, we get the short end of the stick. And that is, every year the government gives people on SSI disability and people on Social Security a cost of living raise. It's not much, it's only a small amount, right? Well, people, the senior citizens, that live in the senior citizen high rise buildings, the buildings that's provided to them, the housing that's provided to them by HUD, because of low income cities, senior citizens housing. Every single time, because I have several friends that live in those type of buildings and houses, and every single time the government gives them us that little. I'll say them because I don't. Unfortunately, thank God, I own my home. I don't have to deal with that part of it. But the people that I know, every single time the government gives them that little 2.5% or 3% raise for their cost of living, guess what? Those housing, HUD housing developments where the senior citizens live
Mm-hmm.
always raise their rent
They
the
do.
same,
They
that
do.
percent. Now
Yeah.
that's just not fair. That's just highway robbery.
Yeah.
How's a senior citizen ever supposed to survive? We're steady getting the short end of the stick. All right. So anyhow, let's take a break right now. They have a short commercial. This will be a fun one, y'all. Read this. All right. And pass it on to somebody. And when we come back, we're gonna get T-Bone in the conversation on some subjects that he loves to talk about or know something about.
Mm.
Y'all stick and stay, don't go away. Go ahead and share the show. Let everybody know we're live. We'll be back. right, then y'all know. See the number up the top of your screen: 1-844-444-0102. And guess what, Luther? Now they calling my 800 number.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Because they done picked it up off of one of my shows, right? But you know what I do? Luther, I go into my service and I block their numbers in there too. So they're not getting away with nothing because I can block them not only on my cell phone, but I can also block them and report them on my 800 number as well. All right, so Tim, I heard on the news this morning concerning our court clerk, Wanda Halbert.
Okay.
Uh-huh. She was supposed to go, they were supposed to go into mediation to
Okay.
settle the situation about her being ousted
Hmm.
this week. I guess it was today. Well, they said on the news this morning that one party pulled out, so it's been postponed. So when you pull out of mediation, that usually means that they have come to an agreement, but they wouldn't say which party pulled out. So which one do you think it was?
I have the slightest idea. But here's the thing: even if they came to an agreement, right? I feel that she's going to have to stand in line in order to get it. What I mean by that is the city or a number of people, Tyrese Nickel family being one, but they have yet to pay out on it, right? So would she fall in that category even if they did come to a settlement? Winning and getting is two different things.
Well, it is, but she's not filing for any money. It's just
Hmm.
whether she stay in as clerk or not.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Uh, well, I'm surprised by that, and what I mean by that is because they drug her name through the mud. It was definitely defamation of character,
Hmm.
amongst other things. So if she
Hmm.
was willing to take that lick on the chin, I'm shocked. Without any,
Well, I don't know that she took it on the chin.
mhm,
Luther say he listened to me and my advice. Thank you, Luther. Pass
mhm,
it on to the other people that you know. He's talking about what I was talking about, the Medicare Advantage and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know that she has taken anything on the chin. All they said was one party um, pulled out and decided they didn't want they in other words they defaulted. So I know in dealing with past uh, history and of mediation cases, and by me being a paralegal myself, I know that if one party withdraws, it usually means that they are not going to push their side of it anymore, which means they are defaulting and the other side wins, right? So
mhm.
I think that the city is the one that pulled out because, I talked about that. I've been talking about that constantly. That deed or that lease to that building, and those buildings, all of the locations, they're not in her name, and they have no right to say that she's supposed to pay the rent on them. Because if that was the case, you got several clerks down there in the county and the city in different departments, right? So if that was the case, then all of the buildings and houses and offices and event locations that the city leases and rents, then those bills should come to those other clerks' names too. Am I right?
Well,
So,
yeah. Here's the thing: they know that. I feel that that was just another thing to throw dirt on her name. They know that she wasn't responsible for paying the lease in that office, as well
yeah,
as just as well as me and you or anybody else know that. I just think it was just a chance to throw some more smut on her name.
yeah, they wanted her out.
Yeah.
and that's the only thing they could come up with, which is probably is they finding out that we citizens know was totally incorrect because I was a procurement clerk. I said this last time. I said all the time. I was a procurement clerk for the Defense Depot for the last 3, 4 years that I worked there before I retired from there. And check this out. I was the only procurement clerk. The bills didn't come to my name. In my name, though, I was the one ordering it. Yeah, I was the one ordering the materials and the supplies from everything to a nail to a telegraph post. But didn't no bill come in my name. You know why? Because in the main headquarters building, we had a procurement department. And those bills were processed and invoices were processed through that office. And the defense government paid them. The government, federal government paid those bills. Those bills didn't come in the name that I had at that time because I've been married 3 times, y'all. Okay. Needless to say, the city is in too much debt. You are right. But all this office are owned by Bill's Enterprises. Yeah, they are. And the city and the county rent from the Bills, right? So therefore, it's the city and the county that has to pay the leases, not one to have it. Okay, you're right. Definitely right about that. Okay, moving right along. I also heard on the news this morning something about the NBA gambling. Tell them what happened. Because you know,
uh, it was a Houston. We have a problem. Uh,
okay.
we have coaches involved. We have players involved, accused of being in bed with the mafia. Um,
Ooh.
3 of the crime families out of the 5, which are in New York, as we all know, were involved with the players and the coaches.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. So
What?
as yeah, yeah. So as a FBI investigation of a 2.5 year span,
What?
uh, yeah, they were investigating over the last 2.5 years. And at this point, there's 34 people indicted. I think 34 or half of that has been arrested. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so how it would work is, let's just say if I was scheduled to play in a basketball game tonight, and everybody thought that I was going to play.
Mm.
But I have a friend that I told, hey man, my ankle is hurting. I'm not going to play tonight. So
Mm.
this friend would have inside information that nobody else would have about me, which
Mm.
would give him and any other body else that he alerted, uh, it would give them like a cheat code, because they
Mm.
stand to make a whole lot of money.
Mm.
Because what I would do, I would take a lot of money and bet on the team that I was supposed to be playing the game in. But what would happen is, like I said, my friend would know that I said my ankle was hurting and I'm not going to play.
They
So
gonna
this
bet on the
gave
other team.
right. So this
Mm.
gave uh, a lot of room. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars. We're not
You
talking
mean
about thousands.
billions,
Yeah,
billions.
it's really up there. But yeah, I think some of them, I believe one main coach, he's going to take his to trial, but if he loses, he's looking at a life sentence. So you name it, launder money, anything you pretty much can think of, they were doing it. Not
Oh.
only were they just doing it to the public, for us,
Mm.
people that like to place legal bets and with gambling organizations that are legal, they
Mm.
lost a lot of money. I
Oh.
also said that one of the coaches also took money from his friends. You
Mm.
know how judges and stuff would come together and have poker
Mm-hmm.
night? Well, this coach had the same thing going on. The
Oh
only
wow.
difference, the only difference was the glasses that he was seeing, and at the table they were playing on was
Mm,
custom made, so he had X-ray vision and he could see everybody cards.
mm.
Yeah,
You know,
so
just like see, that sounds like that old black and white series that
well,
used to
that's some
come out.
James Bond stuff right there, you
That's
know.
James Bond. Luther said that they thrown through LeBron
They
James,
did,
and also, and he said, and the Lakers are trading his son away.
yeah,
And he says that LeBron said if they mess with his money, that's going to be a problem. He said that 2 weeks ago before this all came out.
well,
Wow.
well, yeah, but here's the thing about that: they look back over a record of a couple of games that LeBron was supposed to play in and he didn't play in. So
Ah,
it gave favor to the other team. So
right.
they have, I don't know how much proof they have, but on a couple of those games that he was supposed to play, he either came out early or he didn't play. So what this
Mm,
does is this turns the American, not just American people, people worldwide against the
mm-hmm.
betting system.
Right, right.
Because if the betting is rigged, there's no reason for me to be placing any money on any odds or favorable teams.
You're
So
right.
right now it's in a big uproar. I mean, all hell is broke loose. Like I say, they have been investigating it 2.5 years, but um, I don't think they know exactly how far it goes all the way back. Because what
Mm,
you have is you have a lot of NBA players. Let's say you have NBA and college players, and what happens is, you know, a lot of times they have a lot of recreation when it comes in the gambling department. So
yeah,
what the mob families would do would give them almost a unlimited tab. So
yeah.
when you get in debt with me so much to where you can't even buy your way back out,
I can
then guess,
bribe you.
yeah, I'm gonna bribe you. And that's the
Hmm.
only way you're gonna be able to pay me back the debt that you owe me.
Yeah, you gotta do me
Yeah,
a favor,
yeah,
and then the
yeah.
favors never stop.
It never stops. It never stops.
They say if you get in the bed with a dog, you're gonna come up with fleas. Hey!
Definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Well, they say that it's in 30. Yeah, you said there's more than 30 of them, and they say it goes across 12 states.
Yes. They
And
did it
I'm
simultaneously.
wondering, is anything going on like that about the Grizzlies? But they not on the sports bet of it, because
Yeah.
Ja always out and Ja always in trouble and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean the Grizzlies you know, I don't know if they're involved in the scandal or not, but you know,
Now
they are.
they not in the NBA, but I mean they might start looking lower than the
Well,
NBA.
yeah, I think a whole lot is going to come out, but because what happened in the way that the feds work is the first one that comes and tell everything usually gets the best deal. So it's no limit to how far this goes because we're talking about all professional sports teams. Now, you know, if they were doing it in basketball, they were doing it in other sports too.
And football too.
Football too.
They gonna probably catch them next, right?
Exactly, because
Yeah,
birds of a feather flock together.
that's true. And the
Hmm.
mafia always got their nose dipped in everything.
And everything, and everything. Hmm.
I'll tell you the truth. That's so pitiful, though, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
And and it's disgraceful too, really
Yeah,
disgraceful.
yeah.
All right, so I want to thank. I'm gonna see what I do. Yeah, I think it's showing. What is this? Live stream connection quality. Tim Harry connection quality. Oh, it's showing showing my connection quality. I was
Oh,
trying to. Yeah, I wasn't trying to get all of that. I was just trying to. It's coming too much for me. I was just trying to thank the people that we have watching now because I know it's Friday night and you all.
yeah.
I got y'all. Everybody gone.
Yeah,
Out and
yeah,
about.
yeah. Yeah, Luther, I would have to agree with you on LeBron James' son. Um, People thought that he was going to be a chip off the old block. But the only reason he's even in the pros is because of his dad. He doesn't have the skill level anywhere near of what his dad had coming up through the ranks. So I have to agree with you on that.
Well, we have about 85 that's watching us tonight. I was trying to put it in the screen to get y'all do, but Luther said they cut him off again. I don't know. It must be your internet connection. Luther, you probably got to clear your browser on your phone too, because y'all don't never clear your browser on your phone. I be telling y'all
Yeah,
how
I had to reboot my system before coming
I
on.
keep telling y'all got to delete them browsers every
Mhm.
day, or at least once a week. So hopefully you can get back in, Luther. Okay, right quick.
Okay.
They're not showing much on the news about the task force. I guess they received instruction that they can't talk about it. I guess they'll put gags on these media channels. They're not talking about them too much. They're just giving you a couple of things. Have
Yeah.
you heard anything, Jim?
No, I hadn't heard anything other than what's been going on.
Yeah. They're not saying much about them like they were when they were first,
Yeah.
got here. Yeah. So, um, Trump is at it again with Canada. Oh, Canada, oh, Canada. Trump said he done had it with Canada. Now he put them tariffs back on him again. No more. He said uh, all trade tariffs back on. He just can't get along with the Canadians, can not he?
No, no, and apparently he's not getting along with a lot of people. I think I heard from a word on the curb that him and Putin had a discussion about
Uh-huh.
bringing this war to an end.
Yeah.
And I think
Uh-huh.
if I'm not, don't hold me to this. I wasn't there. I
Okay.
think that he gave him a time limit,
Uh-huh.
and it was said that he moved two nuclear submarines uh, close to the border area up there where Putin is at. So there's a whole lot going on. I think everybody right now is mad at Donald Trump. It's so much going on.
Well,
Uh,
Donald loves that. He don't want
yeah,
nobody happy with him. Donald love chaos. Chaos
yeah.
is Donald Trump middle name.
He got dust kicked up from north, south, east, and west. So
Donald, he's loving it because
yeah,
all
yeah,
they puts all the attention on him.
yeah, yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah. Well, look, I want to squeeze this in. I know it ain't on the program,
uh,
but a lot of people are panicking online about not receiving their SNAP benefits
government
of
shutdown.
November.
Government
Um,
shutdown. Yeah.
people acting like that they're about to lose their mind. But here's a good tip for if you do not receive your SNAP benefit. Certain
Mm,
businesses like Walmart, I hate to give them a shout out, but Walmart are doing a $40 Thanksgiving meal.
okay.
So keep that in mind and spread the word. Things may be tight. It's
Hmm.
gonna be a look. It's gonna look like it's gonna be looking a little different this Thanksgiving than it was last Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, that's a good tip. $40 meal, and it does include a turkey.
Hmm.
I guess whatever size that come with it. So
Yeah.
um, as people, a lot of people gonna have to go back to the old fashioned way. The
Hmm.
good thing about it is, they always say us Americans are spoiled when it comes to food. But
Hmm.
here's the thing: one lady she brought up a good point. You might not eat what you want to eat, but you won't go to bed hungry.
That's right.
So you're just gonna have to go back to what your mothers did and your mothers did
Hmm.
to getting the family through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's right. And then, see, that's why I never ever like being dependent on the government. I
Yeah,
worked for them as an employee, but as a recipient, I wasn't gonna ever put you, my child, in that situation where I had to depend on the government to take care of my child.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the reason why I work my fingers to the bone.
yeah.
I
Thank
like the
you.
car wash. I work and work and
Yeah,
work
it
until
did.
my fingers to the bone.
It did.
I was
It
gonna
did.
provide with my son for my son. I wasn't gonna say I'm taking care of my child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
attitude people should have had
Right.
before they got stuck into this cycle.
Yeah.
At some point, you look like people would have had sense enough to say, "Look, I'm tired of the government in my business." Because they
Yeah.
show you in your business,
Oh yeah. Oh
even
yeah.
even on the food stamp application, they ask you, "Do you have an insurance policy, life insurance policy?" I know that for a fact because why? Because I had to ask the question. I
Yeah.
worked for the state of Tennessee Department of Human Services for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
And why do you think they asked that? Because the
Mm.
whole life insurance policy has cash value,
Right.
and you can only have a certain amount of cash. And most people lie. And if they ever, with all this technology now, with all this file, we got these national data systems, like Miss Rita had mentioned up here earlier, she said, don't forget about the data system. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Um, Miss Rita said, yeah, and don't forget about all these data systems. That's what she said. Then she said, don't forget the data center is coming. Yeah, and once all that data gets together, it's gonna show these people on food stamp that do have life insurance policies, and they might get pulled up. I think that's what Trump is investigating. Luther, let me put your comments back up there right quick. Luther said, ever since they caught the referee some years ago for throwing games,
Uh-huh.
sports is nothing but a fix.
I remember that, Luther. You're absolutely right. I remember that. That was a big scandal. And if I'm not mistaken, they still have a documentary on it on Netflix.
Hmm.
That was one of the biggest scandals because that referee had been around for years
Years.
and years.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
And
you're absolutely right on that.
he also said football, baseball, and now the Buffalo quarterback is being paid 600. Is that million or thousand? Look like million.
600,
No,
like
that's thousand
600,000.
to leave Deion Sanders' team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that
Yeah.
is, Tim?
Yeah,
Buffalo
yeah, I know.
quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I know what he's talking about. I believe he's talking about Deion Sanders' son and now the quarterback.
Oh, his
Yeah,
son.
yeah. His son is at Cleveland. He's I think he's third or fourth string Cleveland. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a lot going on. NCAA is headed for disaster over the next 3 years. I don't think it's gonna take that long, Luther, because once
Tim
once
said
you
it don't take that long, Luther.
yeah, once you start using the cheating with a capital C, people aren't going to invest their money. You know, people make bets to try to get ahead to gain something. But why would I spend my money on something that I know
They
is
cheating on.
cheating? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't think it's going to
Guess
take
that
me.
go back to the casino one.
Yeah, it because
That's all about the mafia too.
yeah, it's all mafia tied in. So yeah, yeah.
But I guess they're saying they're going to take their chance at the casino since all that's going on. All right, so fun facts for y'all. Then we're gonna get out of here. All right, listen, y'all. Do you know if y'all play those games with your phone, you earn Google points with those games because you downloaded it from Google Play, right? So go to your Google account and see how many play points you got because you can use that to exchange it over to cash or prizes like Amazon cards and things like that. Okay. Finally, another tip. Those of you who have Microsoft accounts, which all of us probably do because you got Microsoft on. I mean, it's the Windows system, but if you got like the Word document, the PDF, and other things that you use in Microsoft, then you got some points built up on that, and you can
Mhm.
exchange those points for prizes too. I think, about over 12,000 points, but I didn't realize I had it until last year. But I haven't used mine. I said, okay, I'm gonna save this up.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, I might use it before. I think is it October this. It's October next year or this year. I think it's October this. No, not this year. It's sometime next year they're changing Windows 10. It's not going to be giving any more Microsoft updates, and they're telling everybody to get Windows 11.
Yeah.
So I think it's next year. So anyway, next week when I come back, I'll tell you what to do, so you don't have to go out and buy a new computer, because that's what I did for mine. My Dell laptop, this big one, big. My Dell laptop, I love it. I bought it in 2013, so you know how old it is, right? And you can see it's working fine. So I'm not, and so that means that it will not accept a download of Windows 11. I bought a disc, paid money for it, thought it would take it, but it wouldn't. So I lost that money because I bought it online, right? But Microsoft has provided a free right now way for you to ensure that your computer will get the updates without you having to buy a Windows 11, a new computer. But I also do have another laptop that with 11 on it, for my businesses. Like if I go out to be the client for insurance, but
Yeah.
it's small, small. I don't know. I can't see. I don't like those little small, laptops.
Yeah.
15 inch, 12 inch. I don't like those. I like my big 19, 20 inch there, Dell. So, at any rate, uh, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Rita, and all of those that are watching.
Yeah. Thank
Love
y'all.
y'all comments. Thank you so much for the interaction. Tim, closing remarks.
Yeah, short and sweet. I like it. Good information. Y'all just be sure to tune in to us next time.
Yeah, we didn't do Pearls Politics last night, y'all, because I was frying my chicken, Luther. And I thought my chicken was gonna be time. I was gonna be finished in time for the show, right? Because I cook my chicken. I fry my chicken slowly because I want to cook it all the way through and crisp on the outside, right? So I said, I'm just gonna have to cancel the show because I want to be able to sit down and eat my fried chicken and black eyed peas and enjoy it. I didn't want to have
Yeah.
to rush and gobble, 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 gobble,
Yeah.
right before the
Yeah.
show.
Right.
It's not healthy anyway, right?
Nah. Nah.
Okay. So again, thank y'all. Look, so maybe next Thursday night, Luther, we might get to politics. But if we don't, we're gonna include it with Friday night like we did tonight.
Yeah.
So we would be here either Thursday, but we'll definitely be here Friday. I know that. But it's a possibility we'll be here Thursday night as well. Oh, I want to thank all of you too who tuned in and watched me as I was a guest. I was a guest on the Memphis Jeff show this past Wednesday night before last, right? Yeah, great show, great show. And I have shared that on Facebook if y'all would like to see that. But yeah, I enjoyed myself. And they will be coming on our show in early November to be guests on our show in return. Okay,
All
so
right.
that's it for me and Tia, the Heartbeaters. We love y'all, and we will see y'all next week. All right, bye
Bye.
bye. That's our time.